Have you ever noticed that people who always insist on being tough and proving they're right constantly get knocked down by life? Many people aren't lacking talent or chances. Their only flaw is being far too rigid. If someone criticizes them even slightly, they immediately fight to win the argument. When leaders question their work, they rush to defend themselves without pause. If their partner voices any dissatisfaction, their first instinct is to fire back in retaliation. The end result? They win every petty debate, yet ruin every meaningful relationship. They hold on to empty pride, but walk away from life-changing opportunities. They satisfy a fleeting burst of anger, yet turn themselves into fragile glass, hard on the surface, shattering at the smallest impact. This timeless truth was laid out thousands of years ago by Laozi, the foundational philosopher behind Tao Te Ching, the core text of Daoist thought. In Chapter 22 of the Tao Te Ching, Laozi laid out 5 pivotal maxims. Yielding brings wholeness. Bending straightens the path. Hollow lowlands fill with water. Worn things renew themselves, and less brings abundance, while excess breeds confusion. These lines hold life-changing wisdom for anyone stuck fighting against their circumstances. Let's start with yielding brings wholeness, or kusi kwan. To bend and compromise strategically lets you preserve your whole self. The more willing you are to bow, the less likely you are to break entirely. The more you know when to step back, the farther you'll travel in the long run. Most people misinterpret this principle as blind, humiliating submission, but Laozi never teaches you to be a doormat. This yielding is never surrendering your dignity. It's flexible strategy for survival. Think of a bamboo stalk. It curves gracefully under strong winds, yet stands unbroken once the storm passes. Compare it to dry, brittle branches that stand rigid against gusts and snap clean in half. Who holds greater strength here? Not the unyielding, stiff object, but the flexible one that bends and rebounds. This lesson hits hardest for those who push through every hardship without admitting struggle. They're burnt out beyond measure, yet insist they're completely fine to everyone around them. They stay trapped in draining relationships, too proud to walk away and acknowledge a bad match. They cling to flawed project plans, desperate to avoid admitting their initial judgment was wrong. All of this stems from a refusal to lower their pride and admit fault. Yet what drags people into ruin is rarely external pressure. It's their refusal to accept any form of defeat. When you cannot bow your head, pride becomes your jailer. When you refuse to change course, dead ends trap you permanently. You might believe you're standing firm for your beliefs, but you're only slamming your head against an unmovable wall. Next comes bending straightens the path, Wang Ziji. Sometimes taking roundabout, indirect routes leads you to your true destination faster. Drawing a bow works the same way. You pull the string backward to launch the arrow forward with force. If you refuse to pull back at all, your arrow will never fly toward its target. Certain acts of retreat build up hidden momentum, and silence at times isn't surrender. It's waiting for the right moment to act. Choosing not to explain yourself doesn't mean you lack logic. It means you know words will fall flat right now. There's a common workplace archetype with solid skill sets who struggles endlessly with colleagues and supervisors. When supervisors offer feedback during meetings, they push back immediately in front of the whole team. When clients reject their creative proposals, they snap and accuse clients of misunderstanding their vision. They tell themselves they're protecting their professional expertise, but others only label them impossible to collaborate with. Over time, nobody volunteers to partner with them. Their talent is hidden behind a wall of sharp defensive attitude. Wise, accomplished people also hold strong professional opinions, yet they soften their stance first to create breathing room. This small show of flexibility is not surrender. It creates space so you won't snap under pressure. Consider Han Xin, one of the three heroes of the early Han Dynasty, a legendary military commander who outwitted Shang Yu. As a young, unknown man, a local butcher publicly humiliated him with an ultimatum: stab the butcher with your sword, or crawl between my legs for all townsfolk to watch. Most people would fly into rage and attack, winning a moment's pride yet losing their life to execution. Han Jin stood silent, stared at his tormentor, then knelt and crawled beneath the butcher's legs as the crowd roared with mocking laughter. Everyone labeled him a spineless coward, yet Han Jin understood the bigger picture. Dying over a petty bully's taunt was utterly meaningless. That humiliating bend cost him temporary pride, but preserved his life for far greater achievements. Years later, he rose to Supreme General, cornered and defeated warlord Shang Yu at Gaixia, and received royal titles for his unmatched military genius. This perfectly embodies bending to straighten your life's path. Bow briefly when necessary, and your long-term journey will clear up entirely. The greatest tragedy in life isn't losing a trivial argument. It's wasting your entire future, fighting meaningless, low-stakes conflicts. Every period of quiet endurance and patient waiting builds unseen power to break through your self-imposed limits. As long as you do not break completely, every hardship you survive strengthens you further. Third, hollow lowlands fill with water. Weiziying. Only depressions and empty hollows can hold vast volumes of liquid. Modern people obsess over standing in the spotlight, craving instant admiration and center stage attention. Laozi reminds us, the lowest positions hold the greatest capacity to gather resources. Water always flows downhill, and opportunities, knowledge, and talented people follow that same rule. Valuable resources don't rush toward arrogant people full of themselves. They gravitate toward humble, receptive people with empty space to learn. If your mind is already overflowing with ego, new knowledge cannot enter your awareness. Offer constructive feedback, and they claim they already knew every point. Point out flaws, and they insist they predicted every issue beforehand. They appear brilliantly sharp on the surface, yet blind themselves to all room for growth. Cultivate humility and keep your mind open and empty, and you'll continuously absorb knowledge to grow stronger. This logic applies perfectly to online content creation as well. Many creators rush to showcase their intellectual superiority, cramming endless complicated concepts into single short videos. After viewing, audiences leave confused, unable to grasp the creator's core message at all. Exceptional creators embrace humility. They don't dump dense jargon onto viewers, but simplify complex philosophy into everyday relatable language. Lower your own ego first, and the world will freely hand you knowledge, opportunities, and connections. Fourth maxim: worn and broken things renew themselves. Bi zi xin. Old, worn-out forms make space for brand new replacements. This aligns with our common saying, you cannot welcome new things until you let go of the old. Many people stagnate for decades because they refuse to release outdated mindsets and old self-images. They repeat phrases about their past successes, unaware those once winning habits now trap their growth. Just as you replace torn, unusable clothing, you rebuild yourself once you acknowledge your outdated flaws. Never fear brokenness. Fractured relationships signal your old dynamic can no longer sustain both people. Emotional breakdowns force you to stop pretending everything is fine when you're crumbling inside. Major transformations never start from perfection. They begin when something shatters completely. Recognize where your life feels broken, and that fracture becomes your gateway to reinvention. Fifth core rule: less brings abundance. Excess breeds confusion. Xiao zi duo zi hua. Holding fewer priorities lets you grasp what truly matters. Chasing endless goals leaves you lost and distracted. Back in 1997, Apple Inc. teetered on bankruptcy, barely holding enough capital to operate for a few months. Their biggest crisis beyond finances was an overwhelming product lineup. Printers, handheld PDAs, dozens of nearly identical devices cluttering their workflow. Most company leaders would launch even more products to boost sales and dig out of debt. Steve Jobs, Apple's iconic co-founder who revolutionized personal computing and mobile technology, took the opposite approach. He drew a simple 4-quadrant grid split by 2 categories: home versus professional use, desktop versus portable hardware. The company would only develop 4 core devices. Every other unfinished and duplicate project got cut entirely. His team panicked, arguing slashing most products would eliminate nearly all revenue streams. Jobs' reasoning was crystal clear. Don't spread limited funds and labor thin across 10 mediocre products. Pour every resource into perfecting 4 flagship devices until they outshine every competitor on the market. The rest is world history. Apple survived collapse, then created revolutionary pocket-sized technology that redefined global digital life. This real business story perfectly illustrates less brings abundance, while excess creates chaos. Average thinkers master addition, stacking more goals and responsibilities onto their plate. Elite masters embrace subtraction, stripping away everything non-essential to sharpen their focus. Modern humans don't lack access to more information. They lack clarity on their core priorities. When anxiety overwhelms you, pause and ask 2 simple questions. What single crisis needs solving right now? And what draining burden can I cut loose permanently? Simplify your focus, and every piece of your life falls into clear order. After laying out these 5 maxims, Laozi delivers his unifying core principle. Virtuous masters cling to the unified Tao as a universal standard for all humanity. Enlightened sages fully grasp these contradictory, complementary natural laws, so they center all their actions around the singular Tao. This core rule balances opposing forces, embraces unavoidable conflict, and follows nature's repeating cycles to guide personal conduct and societal leadership. Laozi then breaks down 4 actionable daily habits built around this Daoist mindset. First, you see more clearly when you don't rush to showcase your own talents. Bu zi xian ku ming. You've met people who interrupt others mid-sentence, constantly twisting conversations to highlight their own knowledge. They believe they radiate brilliance, yet their constant self-promotion only irritates everyone nearby. Second, you gain genuine recognition when you refuse to fixate on being right. Bu zi shi gu zhang. People with superficial knowledge endlessly argue online, desperate to win every debate and prove their correctness. Truly wise people skip pointless back and forth. Tangible results speak louder than any defensive argument. When your accomplishments stand undeniable, you never need to boast for others to recognize your skill. Choosing not to fight petty verbal battles is both quiet confidence and the most powerful form of disregard for trivial criticism. Third, your achievements earn lasting respect when you don't brag about your contributions. Buzi fagu yu gong. Some people finish a small task and broadcast their involvement non-stop, claiming the project would collapse without their labor. Constant self-praise strips hard work of its dignity and makes your contributions feel unremarkable to others. This teaching ties back to foundational Daoist ideals. Create change without possession, act without craving credit, nurture growth without controlling outcomes. Fourth, you sustain long-term success when you reject arrogant pride. Bu zi jin gu zhang. People who strike sudden wealth often flaunt luxury cars and flashy jewelry, consumed by overconfidence. Most lose their fortune within a handful of years, as arrogance erodes their respect for risk and caution. Humble caution and quiet restraint are the only paths to lasting stability in every area of life. These 4 habits all follow the same pattern. Choosing apparent retreat brings the forward rewards of clarity, recognition, lasting achievement, and long-term prosperity. The harder you push to validate yourself, the less trust others place in you. Release your desperate urge to compete, and you gain everything you sought. Sima Yi, a brilliant Three Kingdoms-era strategist who outlasted all rival warlords, embodied this philosophy flawlessly. During Zhuge Liang's final northern military campaign, the legendary tactical genius set up camp opposite Sima Yi at Wuzhang Plains. Zhuge Liang sent soldiers to yell insults outside Sima Yi's camp daily, trying to provoke him into open battle. When taunts failed, Zhuge Liang sent a package containing women's robes and headscarves, a brutal public insult accusing Sima Yi of cowardice and unmanliness. This humiliation would enrage nearly any military commander, and Sima Yi's subordinate generals drew their blades, demanding to march out and retaliate. Sima Yi calmly accepted the insulting garments, then politely questioned the messenger about Zhuge Liang's sleep schedule and daily food intake. He ignored the provocation entirely, knowing Zhuge Liang's army traveled far from home and could not sustain a long siege. If he avoided fighting to save face, time would guarantee his victory over the exhausted opposing troops. Not long afterward, Zhuge Liang passed away from exhaustion inside his military camp. That insulting set of robes never shamed Sima Yi. It became a symbol of his patient, unbeatable strategy. Laozi saves the most powerful line for last. Because you refuse petty competition, no person on earth can compete against you. Fuwei bujian gutian xiaomonan, yu jujian. Many misinterpret this non-competition as giving up entirely or passive laziness. This misunderstanding misses the core message completely. This line wraps every prior lesson together and reveals non-competition's unmatched power. Align your actions with the natural Tao and avoid fighting trivial ego-driven battles. You settle into a humble, yielding position no rival can truly defeat. Your strength doesn't rely on fighting back against opposition. It comes from adaptability and generous acceptance of others. This quiet power makes you unbeatable in every long-term pursuit. Laozi's non-competition never means abandoning all ambition. It means stepping away from worthless, ego-fueled fights. Others waste energy arguing over who wins shouting matches. You focus on securing the final victory years down the line. When two people quarrel, ordinary people compete to shout louder and silence each other, sacrificing relationships and collaboration for a moment's verbal victory. Wise people compete only to fix underlying problems and cut down unnecessary internal conflict. They hold back counterattacks and avoid rehashing old wounds, appearing to lose in the moment, yet preserving peace and zero regret long after. This quiet approach is what real victory looks like in life. Laozi circles back to reaffirm the core maxim of yielding brings wholeness. Were these ancient words empty, meaningless rhetoric? Absolutely not. Those who master yielding, retreat, and non-competition to preserve themselves eventually align fully with the Tao's natural laws. The phrase, "all things draw near to you," carries two connected layers of meaning. Internally, everyone who learns self-preservation will inevitably return to live by this Daoist wisdom. Externally, your refusal to fight trivial battles lets you sustain wholeness. So people, opportunities, and good fortune naturally gravitate toward you. Both outcomes arrive hand in hand once you uphold the wisdom of bending strategically. Choosing to yield protects your inner peace and stability, while simultaneously attracting support and goodwill from every direction. Laozi's philosophical insight has been proven true over thousands of years through countless real-life struggles and triumphs. Next time you feel the urge to clash head-on, argue to claim superiority, or crush someone into silence, pause and silently repeat this core lesson. Yielding brings wholeness. This principle doesn't demand you become a weak target for others to exploit. It teaches you to distinguish battles worth fighting from trivial conflicts to walk away from. Learn when to stand firm and when to bend gracefully according to the situation around you. Chapter 22 of the Tao Te Ching doesn't teach permanent weakness. It guides you to evolve from brittle emotional stubbornness to flexible, powerful gentleness. Rigid toughness comes from fragile ego, exploding at any minor pushback. Strategic gentleness comes from unbreakable inner structure, letting you adjust and endure no matter what life throws at you. Stubborn people live trapped inside the rule, "I cannot lose anything," while flexible people live focused on one single goal: how do I win the long game? I hope these ancient philosophical lessons shift how you navigate conflict, pride, and growth in your daily life. If this breakdown of Tao Te Ching wisdom resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe for more timeless humanities and philosophy content. Drop a comment below. What situation in your life would the principle of yielding bring you more peace right now?